James. All right, everybody, welcome in. It is the Pillow Talk edition. Okay, again, and I've got to. Why is there a delay? Can somebody tell me why there is a delay between me saying something here and staring at myself in the camera? There's a camera. I'm looking at an image of myself, and my lips don't match my. What is? This is new. This is new the last couple of nights, and it drives me insane because it's so irritating because it's just like a second off. I can't do this. Let's bring in James Parker. Let's see if he's any better. Ladies and gentlemen, James Parker. He's the other half of the Pugs Parker show.
Hey.
All right. So wave at me. Just give me a wave. Okay. Now,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. React as quickly as you can. Okay. What is your name?
James.
Yeah, see, there's a delay, man. There's a fucking delay. Why? What? You're delayed. I'm delayed. I don't know. I can't do this. I'm going to stop the show. I'm going to reboot everything, and we'll come back in 5 minutes. There's got to be an explanation for this. If I unplug everything, if I unplug the internet, a lot of times that fixes everything. I can't. This has been 2 days of this bullshit. I can't take. I'm clapping. I'm not clapping yet on the mic. There I am. Now I'm clapping. I mean, it's like a 3-second delay. This is not right.
Okay, I don't know. It doesn't seem delayed to me. I agree with April. It doesn't. Like,
that's what are you missing? You're missing the point. This is not right for me. It's driving me nuts. Yeah. This is me that's doing this.
So it very well may be my computer though. Like this is
no, it's not. Okay.
This computer's been on its last legs for a while, and the C drive is all crudted up, and I beat it back for a long time. But I finally ordered a new computer. It came in today. And I'm in the process of installing all the goofy software it takes to run this crap on the new computer. So it might just be this guy, and it might fix itself when I migrate over there for Monday's show.
All right. We'll calm down. If everybody's fine with it, I don't care. I can get past it. But let me give you an example of what's driving me nuts. Right now, I'm pointing at you, James, but I'm not pointing at you yet in the well, maybe I was. It just wasn't in camera. Okay, let me try it again. All right. I am pointing at you now. Yep. Yeah. See, there's like I pulled my hand. Yeah, my hand. It's like now it's just like a 1 second drag. It's just irritating because I look at myself and I'm talking and I'm not talking. You know what I mean? It's like,
that would drive me insane. Actually, I know what you're talking about. I've been there.
Driving me nuts.
It's like having an echo in your headphones. Mm-hmm. You cannot talk like that.
Dude, it's like having an echo in your eyes. That's what it is. It is an eye echo. That's what's happening.
Come on. That's the mushrooms talking.
No, seriously, think about it. That is the best way to explain it. The way
it is. Yes.
Your headphones, this is an eye echo. It's like, why am I? We'll be fine. If you're fine, I'm fine. We can get down. We can handle this. Hey, everybody, welcome in to the Pillow Talk edition of Pugs and Parker, proudly present Pillow Talk here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. We do this every Monday through Thursday, and it's more conversational than our noontime stream, which I call high noon. That's Monday through Friday at noon, and that's topics, headlines, current events, anything people are talking about. I try and give it to you in a nice little bite-sized stream every day at noon. Fun stuff. Nothing that's divisive or anything like that. Or
that's this show.
That's this show. This show is for where we get divided. This show is where we argue about stuff. Now, this is more conversational. That is more. What's the word I like to use, James?
I don't know.
Utilitarian. You said.
God.
You say I like the word utilitarian. Now I throw it to you, and you drop the freaking ball.
I did, but it's kind of a random word. Okay, fine. Utilitarian.
You're like that. That was
this show's not utilitarian, though. I meant that sarcastically.
No,
utilitarian does not come to mind.
Yes, it is something you need. It is something you depend on. It is something that is required for you to be a complete human being. It is utilitarian, James. It's a utility. All right. How was your day?
Totally unimportant. I had a pretty slow day. Didn't accomplish anything. Just hung out with kids for a good while. Went to the park. Went to soccer practice. No, I didn't do a whole lot.
All right. So you're just, nothing going on for you. Just hanging out.
Well, I work part-time, probably about maybe 20, 30 hours a week. And this was in that other set of the hours I have all week. I just didn't have anything to do today.
Hey, whatever happened with Lisa Marie last night? You ever talk to her? You ever find out what happened there? She just like disappeared and she never came back. I guess we never sent her another link, but she never came back.
Dude, get used to that. You won't hear from her for like 2 weeks at a time. Sometimes, and there's no warning, and then she comes back and just starts answering her calls again or answering her texts again for no explanation.
Like I told you on the phone, if she's gonna bring the craziness, we've got to be able to interact with her. And last night, there was just no way for us to effectively really get into those topics. Because I know I had a lot to say. You had a lot to say. I had a shit ton of follow-up questions. And I just couldn't do it because of,
Well, look here's the dead giveaway that should be just a big concern is that someone is over 34 years old and been in radio for, since they got out of high school. And she doesn't have any better equipment than that.
Well, what are you going to do? Shows up, she looks pretty, but that's the thing. She can show up and look pretty, but she also brings content. That was crazy.
Oh my God, she's got content.
Her grandma was a porn star. She just offered that last night. She's like, yeah,
well,
my grandma did porn. My grandma did porn, and her mom did Hustler. Come on.
Yeah, yep.
So, I had follow-up questions. I wanted to get into how far's the apple fall, darling? I mean, is there something we might be able to Google search on you? What's your stage name?
You should ask her about that. I'd be interested to hear what she says. But you have the delay, and that drives you insane. So,
yeah. What do you mean? See what she says? Why do you say it like that? Why are you being coy? What?
Well, because
it's the second time I've said this to you. I said that to you last night on the phone, and you reacted in the same way, suggesting to me, because I'm not an idiot, that she's done porn.
No, here's the deal. She's kind of like us in the fact that if you start asking us really personal questions about very devious things, we'll tell you some interesting things, but we ain't gonna tell you everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you everything, and neither will you.
Yeah, I will. I tell everything. Well, what about me isn't an open book? I mean, other than things that pertain to my wife and her new family, that's off limits. They're not a part of my universe anymore.
Well, I can't exactly just air you out here.
No, you really can't. Not without a scream or anything like that.
You want me to answer that?
Why don't you go ahead and send me a little private message? Let's see how James will now. You'll be able to see this. James will now instant message me privately some of his dirt that he has on me, and you'll get to see my reaction to it, whether or not I'm okay. And if it's okay, we'll discuss it. If not, no. All right, here we go. Go ahead. That's fine. That cocaine was like for 3 weeks. It was like you phrase it as, oh, you had a coke phase. I go, I was dating a girl who I did it a couple of times. That's it. Realized that I loved it, and then went, yeah, no, this would destroy me. I haven't gone near it. Well, that last one. Okay, so here are the ones that James. Go ahead, James. Just read them, except for the one that we've signed legal documents that we can't talk about. It has to do with our exit from 105.3. I can't talk about that.
Look, here's one, and so I can just stop typing.
No, James. First of all, now you've ran out of stuff on me, and the latest one that James put in there was civil sex deviancy. I'm like, what do you mean civil sex deviancy? I don't even know about that.
Okay, but we wouldn't. There's plenty of things that if people were asking you about it, you wouldn't tell them.
Well, say the first one. You can ask me the first one.
I gotta flip back to that screen. Hang on.
It was the first one that came to your mind.
Oh yeah, when you hooked up with the cop's wife.
Not a big deal. He seemed to be okay with it. I mean, he didn't. That was the weird part of it. That he was like around and like, hey.
Okay, how come you don't own the domain thepugsandkellyshow.com?
At some point we did. I don't know, because it's not a thing anymore. I mean, would I need to own it now?
No, you know why you don't own it now. You own pugsandkellyshow.com and
Mhm.
pugsandkellylive.com, but the pugsandkellyshow.com is owned by someone who had a close relationship with someone else on the show, and it kind of went south, and it was a mess.
I don't know anything about that. Whatever it was, if they tried to, what they try and do, like squat on a domain for us, it never even made my page. I don't know anything about it.
Wasn't that dude's name? Not Pat. Not that dude. The dude that used to do the website, the first dude that did the website, and then he may or may not have had some intimate relations.
Okay, this is not dirt on me. This is other people. You don't need to.
But we don't talk about that. We can't talk about that. That's not cool to talk about.
People's private stuff. This conversation was about you saying that you hold back on your stuff, and I said I don't hold back on my stuff. I go, there's really nothing that. I mean, if I see all of my foibles and silliness as content. Not all. I mean, the one you said, there's one that James suggested that I won't talk about, which is about our exit from 105.3. And I don't think I can. I mean, I can ask a lawyer. I mean, we signed stuff saying we would never talk about that. So I'm certainly going to do it on a stream, where anybody could. The other one.
Okay, look. There's things.
What do you mean Coke phase? That I don't like that. I dated a girl for like 6 months, and all of her friends were like Coke girls, and like it was the first time I ever did it, and I liked it, and then we broke up, and I went back to hanging out with my normal friends.
Yeah, so you went through a Coke phase.
Is that a phase? I mean, it's not like every day. It's just like I went.
That's what a phase is.
I would do a little cocaine if it was that we were in the club.
Look,
and then
everybody's got things that everybody's got things that everyone has a boundary. Like if someone, like a close friend of you 20 years ago said, hey, will you give me a ride to the abortion clinic because they won't let me drive myself home, and you did, if someone asked you about that, you wouldn't tell that story.
Oh, no, of course not. Because again, James, see, this is the disconnect you seem to be missing. That story affects another person. That story.
I know, but I'm just saying that you have stories about yourself that you won't tell. It might not be because you did something wrong, but because you know crap that you're not going to share everything you know with everybody at all times. That's my point.
You're absolutely right. And if that's your point, then I stand corrected.
Now she has a lot more stuff on the other side of that boundary than normal people do. Lisa Marie.
We're going back to Lisa Marie.
That was my point. Okay. Now we all have that line. Don't be like, oh, I don't have a boundary. I'm an open book. Well, no, there's some things you won't tell. So she just has a lot of stuff that's on the other side of that line that's about her stuff or about people who are adjacent to her, or things that she's been in the same room as. They're not all necessarily about her either, but she has a lot of stories that I don't know what she's willing to share or how far she's willing to go, but whatever you can get out of her, she's got a lot of good stories.
So James is basically letting us all know that he thinks that she did porn. That's what he's saying. That's what I'm getting. Dude, I hit that button 6 seconds ago. Ladies and gentlemen, please come on out to the, what do we call this place? Call it the, what do we call it? I forgot what we call it.
Comfort Lounge.
Comfort Nest. That's it. The Comfort Nest Comedy Lounge, high atop the 1%er compound in beautiful downtown Highland Park, Texas. I'm your master of ceremonies, Pugs Moran. Please welcome to the stage your first performer. He's here every night, Monday through Thursday. James Morgenthau Parker.
Oh, Morgenthau. I like that one. So Ken Starr, the independent counsel in the Whitewater investigation and whatever else, he passed away at the age of 76. You remember him, right, Pugs? Ken Starr?
Sure, Ken Starr. Yeah. Who doesn't?
A spokesperson for the Clintons said they do have alibis.
Ken Starr jokes. Come on, man.
That one didn't work.
I thought Ken Starr died 10 years ago. He falls into that category for me.
Researchers at UC Irvine have activated stem cells in hair follicles to regrow hair on mice. So this is a big breakthrough because nothing looks more ridiculous than a mouse wearing a toupee. Yeah. That's stupid. TV ratings for the Emmy Awards crashed to an all-time low this week. In fact, for the first time, there were more nominees than viewers. More nominees. Yeah, you can boo that one if you want. Is that just a delay thing?
was not strong. Yeah, it was. It was a delay thing.
Hey, so have you heard of this? It's one of these boutique sports car Italian companies, Pagani Automobili. They have
I have. Their new car has a jet package on it.
Right. It's the 2023 Utopia, which I think is kind of a big sell for a name on a car. $2.1 million for this car, Pugs, if you want it. Also, another $300 if you want the undercoating. A lot of
That's
work.
the delay, James.
Okay.
There it is. That one only took 9 seconds. Okay.
What is going on over
I'm
there?
telling you. It's bad on my end.
Okay. I think that it has to be your end. All right. In Dayton, Ohio, a 100-year-old man has finally received his high school diploma. He felt inspired to go back to school after all the stories about teacher sex. That's a good one, but it's just.
And there it goes. 9 seconds later. All right.
Upgrade your Wi-Fi, Terry. Damn it. Happy birthday to former New Jersey First Lady Pat Christie, Mary Pat Christie. That's Chris Christie's wife. She turns 58 years old. Actually, she's an investment banker, which means she is the Christie family's principal breadwinner, while Chris Christie is the family's principal bread eater.
Wow. No delay on that one. That's good. Nobody waits to see me. Boom.
In my entire career, never one complaint about a Chris Christie fat joke. All my other fat jokes, I'm the bad guy. Chris Christie, no one cares. And finally, September is National Childhood Obesity Awareness Month. According to a new study, 40% of 10-year-olds are afraid of being overweight. The other 60% are okay with being a ham planet.
There was no delay on that one. I just wanted him to sit in that garbage for a bit. Hi-oh! All right, James, let's go. You know what? You didn't complain about not having the center square. I didn't change the. I didn't make you big.
This wasn't going to be a keeper anyway.
No. Okay. Where'd he go? There he is now. All right. Jeff Glenn Pugs, hit the sound effect and make James tell the jokes in 9 seconds. Yeah, that could work. Terry Wall says, upgrade your Wi-Fi. Okay, Terry. I'll get right on that. Let's see here. What else we have? I'll say hi to the people in the chat room that are with us today. Jeff, we got John. I don't know who Adrian is. Who's Adrian? He's paired. You must have paired him. That must be somebody.
Oh, yeah. So Adrian is a listener of the James Show, but he is in Australia. Right. Australia. Oh, cool. So, yeah. If he doesn't have a delay, you shouldn't have a delay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I wonder what that is. Leslie's here. Love Leslie. Thank you. Jeff is here. We got April. We got a bunch of Jeffs. We got a lot of Jeffs and a lot of Leslies. Multiple Jeffs and multiple Leslies. We got a Jennifer. I know Jennifer. Well, yeah, we got people popping in. James, they must be all here for the big announcement. That's what I'm guessing what it is. That's why I'm seeing some new names. I just wanted to see if there are any new names lurking in the chat room.
There's a big announcement today?
Yeah. Yes, there is.
Should you have typed this in the captions so you could put it like down here? You could just flip the caption and say, "Here's the big announcement," or like have it typed out so when you say the big announcement, then you can put it on the screen.
Nah.
Sloppy.
So here's the good announcement. Here's the big announcement. Let's see, how do I phrase this? Well, maybe I could just do it this way. Here we go. What if we just play something? Here you go. Let's see if this will work. You guys probably won't even hear it. I'm Pugs Moran. Join me and Dr. Schwartz today on Sunday nights, 9 to 11 p.m. for our brand new show, Mansplaining. It's kind of like Loveline, if every call was for Dad. Mansplaining, Saturday and Sunday nights, 9 to 11, right here on 97.1 The Eagle. And there you have it. That's the big announcement. This is a very exciting time for me. Wait, what's that? Oh, we've got more big announcements. I heard that one today. That one's rotating right now. Hold on, let's get rid of that. Let's see if you missed that big announcement. Here's another big announcement. They really went all out. They made me a bunch of nice. It's Pugs. Join me and Dr. Schwartz Saturday and Sunday nights, 9 to 11 for our new show, Mansplaining. It's a call-in advice show. Men got issues. They want to talk about them. Mansplaining, Saturday and Sunday nights, 9 to 11 on the Eagles. Go! All right! A lot of big changes at the Eagle this week. I would say that this is maybe a positive one for me, right? That's
Well, hang on. Like, we all know the context, or you and me know the context, but for the people listening, It is entirely possible that Pugs has been rolled up in talks with this project for quite a while, and at the same time not known anything about the dudes getting blown out this week. That is a very believable scenario that happens quite often.
That is 100% true. Oh yeah, we've been talking this through. This concept was first formulated when I still lived in Illinois, and I was trying to do it in a different way there. And then I came down here after having reconnected with some old advertisers, some old people that used to do, to support my old shows here. And they're like, yeah, come on down, let's put something together. And so I got a group of people together and we pitched it, and I brought a bunch of advertisers, and they're like, okay, let's do this show. Now, what you need to know, that the important promo here is this one. This is the promo that I think tells most accurately what the show is. Okay, I'll play it one more time. Here it is. I'm Pugs Moran. Join me and Dr. Schwartz Saturday and Sunday nights, 9 to 11 p.m. for our brand new show, Mansplaining. It's kind of like a love line, if every call was from your dad. Mansplaining, Saturday and Sunday nights, 9 to 11, right here on 97.1 The Eagle. One more time. I can't applaud myself enough. All right, so this has been about a year. I mean, I've been talking to the Eagle for a year. I mean, when was the first time I let you know?
January is I didn't know about it summer before this.
Yeah. It started last summer with a phone call from somebody who's very involved over there. And they said, you want to do something? And I said, I do. And they said, well, what are you thinking? And I go, funny you should ask, because I've had this concept. Now, why this concept? So let me explain. And we won't do the whole show on this, but I want to give you, I'm very excited. This is going to be fun. If any of you are familiar with Dr. Schwartz, and here's what you need to know about him. I consider him to be my funniest friend. But no offense to some. I mean, I have some friends who I think are really funny. I have friends who are professional comedians, but he's the one that makes me laugh. He is so unbelievably funny. And what his real skill is, James, is he's the quickest wit I've ever met. I mean, Kelly has an amazing wit. Like, Kelly was a perfect sniper, the role of sniper in a radio team. There's one guy who would be me, who is the blah, 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 blah. And then the sniper goes blah, blah. And it's hysterical. It makes all of the stupid shit that I just said. You know what I mean? That's what a sniper does. And I mean, wasn't I guess Artie Lang is probably the highest profile sniper. He was Howard Stern's sniper. He would sit there with in my career in radio, there's a guy named Gary Meyer who is set the standard for snipers. He worked for a guy named Steve Dahl. Then there was another friend named Bill Leff, who I thought was just the most amazing quick wit that I'd ever seen. And then I became friends with Schwartz. And I'm like,
well, that was kind of the same thing. Anthony was a sniper for Opie.
Yes, exactly. Anthony was a sniper. That show evolved into something different when Norton came in. Then Norton became the actual sniper. The guy who has it. But yeah, in the beginning, it was Anthony who was the sniper. Now, in most of these teams, the sniper is a co-host, an equal co-host. I mentioned Stephen Gary and all that, Opie and Anthony. So it's not like a lesser position. It's actually the most important position, I think, in a radio show, because anybody can just go blah 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 and be semi-interesting, with how bizarre they're being. But if there isn't somebody there in the room to say what everybody listening is thinking, then you're just a blowhard asshole, right? You know what I mean? Imagine if Rush Limbaugh had a sniper. How great would have that been? Right? Just a guy sitting there that could, I think maybe even have been quite as polarizing, if there was a sniper in there. So when I started thinking about how we were going to do this, if I was going to be back in town, I have for years and years been saying to Schwartz, and we've been having this conversation. I'm like, dude, we got to create some media for you, because a YouTube channel, something, because you are really funny. And then he said, well, I want to start doing, let's do something. So I said, look, I got this idea. I pitched him the idea for the show. Here's what the show is. The show is Loveline. This is what we're pitching. It's not Loveline, but it is. Those are the roles. He's essentially Dr. Drew, and I am certainly not Adam, but I will try and fill that role of the person who drives the show. Schwartz, however, is, in my opinion, funnier than Adam, and certainly funnier than Dr. Drew. So I'm going to lean on him to be the sniper in this. What else do I need to say about it? It is the same kind of show as Loveline. We're not going to talk about politics. We're not going to be divisive. We don't want to get into the culture wars. But I should say it like this first. One of the most successful and proven style of shows in the history of radio is the call-in advice show. Whether you go all the way, Bob and Betty, I think, were the first ones. Like, they were doing a call-in show in like the 1950s, and then, whether we're talking about Dr. Ruth or, Loveline, or where, those shows have always been successful on radio, but they've never targeted men before. They've always targeted teenagers and housewives. It's always been,
come on, like Car Talk. And there's some gun calling
Car Talk
shows.
That's a specific brokered show about cars. Yeah, those, no. Advice show. Car Talk is not an advice show.
Does
right?
Tom Likas count as an advice show?
To a degree, yes. I would say absolutely, to a degree. He did more of a, he didn't have an Ivy League surgeon in studio with him, right? So, I think he lowest common denominator a lot of it, I would say, Tom Likas. At least
lower common denominator. Maybe not the lowest, but pretty low.
No, certainly not the lowest. I had difficulties with Tom. I didn't like him. And then I got to know him. Like, I met him, and when he would come to town, we go out to dinner and stuff. And I'm like, I hated you. He goes, I know you did. And I go, I don't hate you now. He's like, good to know. So, I respect what he did. Like, I see what he did. I didn't. All
right. So explain how this is different than Loveline.
It is different than Loveline in that it focuses on men. This is a show for men. This is guy talk. This is a guy talk advice show. Subjects will range from everything. Everything that a guy goes through. The premise is guys don't talk about their feelings. Guys never do. Well, they do now. Got a bunch of Nancy boys out there. It's 2022. Everybody wants to be, in touch with their feelings and discuss their problems. And
no, I don't have feelings.
Well, no, you are a broken human who lacks empathy. That we've established. But that's what makes you special. That's why you stand out.
I'm healthy. I don't need help.
No, you don't.
Healthy people don't need doctors.
Celebrity guests, we'll bring in people to sit in with us, but we're going to need calls. We're going to need people to participate. So, I wanted to bring it up to you guys here. If you have any interest in participating, we're going to have to do something that you do a lot of times with first shows, and that's teach the audience what the show is about. We need the audience to participate in the show that we're doing in a way that they may not understand. In other words, we're not going to take calls from people going, oh, hey, Dr. Schwartz, you did my breast. I just wanted to say hi, and this is so great. We're not taking that. We're not going to take any, oh, Pugs, I used to listen to you and Kelly. And that's not what, you know what I mean? So I want to get, for the demo, by the way, it can be revealed now. For the demo, I used a lot of people in the chat room that I'm seeing right now. Jeff played a very big role in this. Ross Rubio played a huge role in this. Ross Rubio needs to be thanked. Thank you. James Parker, sitting right there, played a big role. He was one of our plant calls. So I'm going to need some of you. So if you are willing to participate, if you are willing to maybe be a plant call, and that means you and I have to talk off the air, and I have to teach you how I want you to teach the other listener do the show. If you're familiar with Loveline, it's that format, but it hasn't been done in 20 years, so we don't know what people are. But that's the news. So the show debuts this weekend on the Eagle, 9 to 11 on Saturday, and then 9 to 11 again on Sunday. And that's where we start. That is, we're gonna work out the bugs for a couple of weeks. We hope you come along. It's not Saturday programming. Like, you might tune into other stations and you might hear like Saturday programming, and it's nothing but some car dealer or some guy selling flooring, carpet. Carpet show. It's not an infomercial. It's absolutely not an info. It's not going to be a show. It's not Dr. Schwartz's show where he's promoting his practice. It's not, it is a show. It is a legitimate show that we have people behind, and we're trying to build something here. And so we debut it this weekend on the Eagle. And there you go.
All right,
so
do the thing where you put the comments up in the captions, and do the Jeff one. Is it live both nights or a replay on Sunday?
Oh, isn't that a wonderful little idea, James? Thank you. I hadn't really considered that. All right, so we'll go. All right, let's see if we can find some question. All right, we'll start out with Jeff, because I think he needs to be thanked. Mansplaining, I got it in the ground floor. He did. Jeff was one of the plant calls in the demo that helped us get to where we are.
Really, Jeff, anyone hearing this is in on the beginning of the show.
Yes. Yeah. I need you guys to help me out with this. And by the way, I want to make this absolutely clear. The show is called Mansplaining, okay? Because it's a couple of guys talking about stuff guys go through, these life issues that we're going through, whether it's divorce and dating again, or sex after 50, or I'm not attracted to my wife and my wife's not attracted to me, my kid's driving me crazy, all of these kinds of work sucks, my neighbor, I hate my neighbor, whatever these issues that we guys deal with, we're going to be talking about, and we'll be taking your calls. We're going to do some, if you're familiar with the old Pugs and Kelly show, there was an HGD element, the old advice segments that Kelly and I used to do. We're going to do that. So we're going to take your emails. I'll put an email up there so that you can send me any if you have. I asked like a year ago. Some of you guys don't remember. But about a year ago, you might remember, I said for a couple of days, I need some emails. I want to do some HGDs. And you guys sent me some. I got about 10 from a year ago that will probably debut on the show this weekend. So thank you. Again, what's my email? My email is pugs@hireahero.org. Yeah, I'm still using my buddy Rob Barr's Veterans group. pugs@hireahero.org. If you want to send me an email with your issues, the way the old HGDs used to go. Dear Pugs and Kelly, my husband didn't come home last night. He's been ignored, stuff like that. That's how, and we'll read it on the air as if like it's a Dear Abby kind of thing. We'll do that. We'll take your calls. I think we might have a really cool guest too on Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure, but it's somebody who's got a story, and people have been wanting to hear this story for probably about 10 years. And I think he can tell the story this weekend. He's a high-profile local person who's involved in something very scandalous. And he's like, come on and talk about it. I'm like, all right, let's do that. Because that is a real man problem that you went through. What happens when it all goes away very publicly? You know what I mean? So we're going to do that. Hold on, let's see here. Also, I should mention there is a third person involved in the show that I could not be happier about. It is me. It is Dr. Schwartz. And then the one and only, the Dallas icon, the local rock music treasure, in my opinion, the best music jock in all of Dallas, AO. AO is joining the show. It will be me, Schwartz, and the incredibly talented AO. I couldn't be happier that, like, you're going to need somebody in there, to produce. Somebody's got to be with the station, and all that kind of stuff. And, I'm worried that they're going to give me, no offense, but a 19-year-old kid from a broadcast school, right? And I said, I don't want anybody who doesn't know what they're doing. And they're like, well, what about AO? And I'm like, you would give me AO? And they're like, yeah, we want this. Let's make this work. Let's do that. I'm like, yeah, all right. So we got AO. So we feel very competent on the tech side and all of that. And he's such an interesting guy. I love that guy. Saw him today for the first time in like 12 years. Big hug. Very nice. All right, more questions here. Let's see, what else do we have?
Is it going to be streamed? That's the one up here.
I didn't answer Jeff's question. Okay. I don't know. I believe so. I mean, we're on the website with the link in the live now. So in the beginning, certainly the first two shows will be available on the, live on the Eagle website. Oh, starting to burp.
Well, on the Eagle website, but Eagle's an iHeart station, so the iHeart Radio app, and if you go to KEGL or 97.1 in Dallas, I think the secondary part of that question is, are you going to stick a camera in there and put it on Restream like you do with this?
We are. We talked about that today. We're in the process of acquiring GoPro cameras and all of that stuff. So yeah, that is one of the things that AO wants to be involved in. He wants to. So stream. We'll probably do Restream. This is. I don't know. I don't know. You know me. I don't. There are people I like to surround myself with people who I trust know about all of the things that I don't. So that's one of those areas.
Right. How much music is going to be played per hour?
Doesn't have to be any music, but we're gonna play music. We're gonna play a little bit of music. It's not gonna be like, hey man, 4 songs and then we're gonna talk for 5 minutes. No, we'll play music when it's appropriate to move the show along, to keep it going. Certainly for the Saturday night, there will be some music dropped in. The music will probably, have something to do with the topic that we're talking about. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not gonna be like the same old kind of thing. But it will be a lot of
Creed.
It will there will be no Creed. But again,
no Train either, please. Don't do Train.
See, our goal with this is to have this be a national show. And in order to do that, we want to be on rock stations. We want to do the same sort of path, the business model that Loveline did. So to do that, it's been suggested by people high up that it'd be easier to sell to the affiliates if you could drop a couple songs in. Done.
Yeah.
Done. And so I've been listening to a lot of old Loveline over the last year, and they played music. We don't remember that they played music, but they did. They did the affiliates. They were mostly on alternative rock stations.
Oh, I definitely remember when it was in Dallas.
Yeah. So they did play music. So if it's like, you can't play it, we will sound. We are attempting to sound the way Loveline sounded. So, I mean, that's, if you're familiar with that, I mean, Loveline, this isn't a rip job because Loveline didn't invent the doctor and another person doing a call-in show.
No.
They just reinvented it and did it, I think, better than anyone else. And so that's what we're trying to do.
Next comment here, the last one from John is 97.1. Are they changing format? I thought that was a good question.
Where is it?
It's the last one.
There we go.
Most recent, yeah.
All right, we'll put that up for everybody to read. I have no idea. Don't tell me that stuff. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't believe so because we're playing. I wanted to play some music, so we're playing some. I don't know. No idea. But I'll tell you what. When I find out, I'll tell you. But that is a question a lot of people are asking, though.
Did you ever answer if it was going to be live both nights or a repeat on Sunday?
No, I didn't answer that question. All right. Oh, it's another one from Jeff. Live both nights?
Or you could do Leslie.
Or is it on Sunday? Sunday replay? Yeah, it is. It's live both nights. Yeah, 2 live shows. There'll be different shows. There'll be different shows because, James, and you know this because you put together shows. 9 to 11 on Saturday night is a different vibe and a different energy, and there's a different person listening than somebody listening 9 to 11 on Sunday night. It's a completely different thing. 9 to 11 Saturday, it's people in their cars, maybe going to dinner, maybe going from dinner out to drinks or whatever. You know what I mean? So you've got to keep those people in mind. You got to keep it moving. You got to keep it upbeat, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little wilder, a little bit Saturday nighter. And then Sunday is going to be a little bit maybe deeper, maybe a little bit more slowed down, a little bit heavier topics and like deeper interviews and that kind of stuff. But I am telling you, I'm so excited to be working with, well, both AO and Dr. Schwartz, but Dr. Schwartz in particular, because I just think that he's such an incredibly funny, naturally funny guy. He's so quick and he's so fun to be around, and we have really good chemistry. So this is exciting. This is very exciting. Also, another thing that needs to be mentioned, not going to affect this at all. Not going to affect this at all. My noon show, I love doing my noon show. I mean, if I didn't have this available to me, like if all of this was taken away from me, I would just sit in this chair at noon and scream about stuff I'm reading anyway, because I mean, I just love doing it. So nothing's going to change about the noon show. In fact, I'm hoping that this promotes the hell out of the noon show. I mean, I'm going to be on a major market radio station for 2 nights a week, and I'll be able to promote the High Noon Show. Join me. Hey, you like this? Join me every day at noon. Promote the High Noon Show, promote the Pillow Talk Show. Maybe we can start building something, a little bit more. You people who come here every night, God, you guys you're so loyal, and I appreciate it so much, but we need to grow. We need like 1,000 times the amount of people that we have, right? And, Radio Misfits needs to get some big plugs out of this, because, man, my guy over there, he's the reason that all of this is happening. I'm talking about Ed. So, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to promote both the noon show and, although somebody said that they went to it, and I had to call Ed. I'm like, hey, are we even on the Radio Misfits website? And he's like, well, yeah. No, we're not. We're like, you got to go to video. We're like buried under a drop down, and it's labeled video. It's like, okay, all right. So I don't know. I mean, I want to be able to go on the air and say, listen to my noon show every day, radiomisfits.com. And then they go to radiomisfits.com, and maybe there's like a red button right there, that just says live stream somewhere or something. I just want to make it easier for people to access the content I'm doing through Radio Misfits, because that's important. It's important to start. We need to start thinking about growing these creations of ours instead of just, all right, anything else? Is there anything else you see there that needs to be mentioned?
So it is going to be live both nights. I have a question. Can I be your fill-in?
Oh, well, this doesn't change anything with you and me. You and I are still openly, we're working. Here's how I see it. I mean, foot in the door. I mean, let's start selling Pugs Parker or something, let's foot in the door. You got to get your foot in the door. I am at the age now, when I was doing P&K, I had a lot of opportunities to do other things. And a lot of times, I mean, while still doing the P&K show, it's 4 hours a day. If I wanted to have a second job, you know what I mean? We see it all the time. Newspaper columnists also host radio shows, and then they also do the 10 o'clock news. And so I remember thinking, well, I should really take advantage of that. Well, I'm at a point now in my life where I'm going to do every project that's available to me, right? I mean, don't tell me about, you're working 7 days a week. Yeah, like 2-hour shifts. I mean, come on. I'm not.
Well,
I'm
it's not like
graves.
Well, I went through that pretty bad for a while there, because I was doing a morning show from my home studio, and then I was doing an evening show from another home studio. But for a while there, I was having to go downtown, and then I was the fill-in on this TV show that used to come on late after that. We would record at 9 o'clock at night, So I would seriously start working at about 5 in the morning, and I would get off at about 10:30 or 11 at night. And people were like, it blows my mind how you do that all day, every day. And it's like, well, yeah, but I'm not laying bricks. I mean,
Yeah.
What am I supposed to be tired from? Like, how could this ever even make me tired? I could do this as long as I can stay awake. I can do this. So really 18 hours a day, I could do this.
I think 18 hours a day of the kind of work that we do, that we engage in, we could probably do, but we don't have backaches after doing this for 18 hours. But there is an emotional dump. There is an emotional drain that I don't know if you experience, but I do. After a show, I am dead for a half hour after a show. The minute I stop, I have to just sit and be like, okay, let's go. Maybe it's that thing they say, people have an on and off switch where when the camera goes on, they flip the switch, and then, when it goes off, they turn it off. Well, maybe I just burn everything, when I flip that switch to be on. Because the minute it's over, I'm like, and if you want to do anything with me 2 minutes after I end doing a show, I'll be like, I need a half hour. I need a half hour to just sit here and stare at the ceiling. And that's literally what I do most of the time.
Well, because when the microphone's always on, whatever you're talking about, the number one rule is don't be boring. And so when you have to come up with 3 hours to give a shit, sorry for the coarse language, but when you're done, you're out of shits to give. Yeah. So you really need to sit there and like kind of ruminate and build up more shits to give before you can address the real world in a full manner, because that's what it is. I mean, whatever it is, even if I'm neutral about a subject, I have to nail down the fact that I'm neutral about a subject. And so after that, you've exhausted all of your dopamine or whatever. You just got to chill for a minute.
We're essentially selling whatever the topic is that we're talking about. We are endlessly selling it.
Pugs leaves it all on the field.
And that's dude. Thank you, Jeff.
Appreciate that. Glorious. Not that
cool. Okay.
By the way, this is the cup you get at the Cowboy Stadium if you buy a $9 Dr. Pepper. It's kind of got the little 3D. It's got the pseudo triplets.
Cowboy cup.
Yeah, with CeeDee Lamb, him and his 2 big catches on Sunday. Not that I'm bitter.
Byron asks, am I going into the studio or are we streaming it from home? Now, we'll be in the studio. The doing it from home thing, well, let's get there. I ain't against that. I ain't against that. But yeah, for while we get it up and running and before. But yeah, eventually, I don't anticipate having to go into a studio to do the show that we're creating. We got. You don't have to do that anymore. So, but yes, in the beginning we will be there. And I was at the Eagle today for a couple of hours, and oh man, I had not been in a radio station in probably 5 years. I think. No, that's not true. I used to go up to the Score in Chicago because my buddies. But like probably 3 years the Score, but other radio station, probably 5 years. It was I hate radio. I hate radio stations. I hate the radio business. But I have to be honest, the hairs kind of stood on the back of my head when the elevator door opened. And you see that iHeartMedia, and then there's like a Justin Bieber picture, and then a Metallica poster, and and you're like, oh yeah, I'm in a radio station. This is what they look like. I'm like, cool. And then all the interesting radio people, just in the halls. You ever take a tour of a radio station? Oh, I kind of had that experience.
Oh yeah, dude, I get hauled around all over the place. So,
and then people worry about their jobs because they recognize you, and they're like, "Why are they giving a tour to a known broadcaster who's getting fired?" Right? That's always the vibe. Here comes death, and it's the GM walking some guy who used to do mornings across the street, but was fired a couple of months ago.
Okay, now, So something I want you to be my little mole on the inside for is their AM station, KFXR. I think it's on the old 1190 signal that KLIF was on for years and years and years. It was the mighty 1190, the Cliff. But
yeah, dude, I was a part owner of that station at one point. That was the station when Kelly and I left the Bone, and we had a bunch of other.
No, you were on 1160.
No,
Rational Radio.
We were on the former KLIF. That was the selling point, that it was a marquee signal. It was 1190. Yeah.
Well, so now I think Clear Channel or iHeart owns it, and I think it's KFXR, but they have just plugged in a bunch of crap off the satellite, and they used to like rerun Russ Martin's show from the previous day for their morning show. So it's just like nobody works there. It's a forgotten entity, but it's a talk station where clearly they're just dumping some of their clearances for premiere, because I think like that's where they have. I don't know. They have like Glenn Beck or something there, but
that's the game now, James. That's the game. Clearances. It ain't about ratings. It's about getting an advertiser and getting that advertiser clearances. Took me a long time to learn that, but I'm ready to play the new radio game.
I'm cool with that. But what we have over there, what I see is this talk station that doesn't have a morning show, or do they have a PM drive show, and those could both be profitable, even on that signal. Because you're in market number 5. Damn, dude, if you just do anything, you could make more money than they pay you.
Well, anyway, that's the big announcement, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for hanging with me. I hope you understand I had to wait until, today when I signed some things, when some things had to become official before. And again, this has nothing to do with any of the things that may have occurred at this station this past week. Most notably, Dan and Elfie weren't fired because they're bringing me and Schwartz in to do Saturday nights, okay? So don't even run with that bullshit. I love those kids. Those guys, I got no beef with those guys. I hope they land on their feet. But it has nothing to do with it. And this is really just about coming fully loaded to a station and saying, I got the advertisers. Here's my resume. Here's the proof that I've done this and I can do this. Here are the people that are willing to spend money with you. That's how it had nothing to do with, anything, any of the other exits. I certainly had nothing to do with the exit of, I think, like the market president got reshuffled and the program director resigned. And I mean, it's all over the trades and stuff like that. The one that impacts us the most is the Treehouse guys. That sucks. And I'm sorry for that. But again, has nothing to do with the fact that I'm doing a show on Saturday and Sunday. Okay. So I can already see it. I can already see those social media things going around.
Well, and how cool is it
that any bit of that?
How cool is it that you work with Ben and Skin?
It is very cool. I don't work with them. I work at the same station as them. I love those guys. I think those guys are so good at what they do. I've always said that. I've always been a fan. I think I met Skin. I know that I had a very nice conversation with Ben on the phone once about 10 years ago when the Ben and Skin show replaced us, Pugs and Kelly, at 105.3. He's such a stand-up guy, just called to say, hey, look, thank you for laying the groundwork here. We're inheriting an audience. He was just such a gentleman and such a classy guy. And I was like, dude, take that audience, take all the people that used to listen to us, win them over, and then build more. And they did. And I couldn't be happier for them. I'm not like petty, I'm not like,
no, of course not. It wasn't their decision anyway. They're not the ones who.
No. Of course not. We left. We walked. I don't know if I can say that because of, remember I signed some documents that precludes me from being able to talk about what happened.
About that. Yeah,
and why we left 105.3. Yeah, it wasn't like we got fired. See, I can't say that. I can't. People. Anyway. So that's the big news. I'm very excited. And James, going to need you as a planted call this weekend. I hope you're around at some point, Saturday or Sunday between 9 to 11.
Can I call you as one of my alter egos? Can I call you as Cletus McCoy?
Absolutely. Cletus Van Dam. We got Cletus Van Dam on the phone from Tyler.
Cletus Van Dam. No. Cletus McCoy.
Well, Cletus Van Dam was Shane Vendrell's alias on The Shield. So that was a Shield reference. I was throwing out.
Another Cletus, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
I know Cletus Martinson too. That was but this is a good question. Cletus Martinson's a black guy. Can that be a black guy name? Isn't Cletus like? Don't you think Cletus is like, when you think of Cletus, when you imagine Cletus,
come on,
you're not thinking of a black guy, are you?
Well, you don't know any rural black people, and there's a strong
None.
overlap, yeah, with the rural blacks and the rural whites that just the outside world's not familiar with. The only Cletus I know in real life is a black guy.
Really?
Yeah, he used to work at the grocery store here in Bullard.
Okay, all right.
So.
I think of it typically as it was like Kelly used to have a theory that there were no black guys named Brian. Like she didn't think Brian was
get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, look, there's some weird overlaps. Check this out. There's a few names that are real strong in both the sort of hyper masculine white trash rural community, and also just you would commonly associate it with our black neighbors as well. Derek, Leroy.
I've never actually, that's funny you say that. I was gonna say I've never known a white person named Leroy, but there's a cowboy great. Leroy, what was his name? A cowboy great. I can't remember his name, but he's a white guy. And my whole life I thought he was a black guy. And then he died like 3 years ago, and I'm like, he was a white guy? I just thought Leroy, what was his name? Come on, cowboy fans. No, Byron says Gumble. When I said there are no black guys named Brian. No, there are plenty of black guys named Bryant. The Brian, Brian, that's a where Brian Jordan. I don't think that's a real person. So I'm staying with Kelly's theory that there are no black guys named Brian. Derek.
What? No, there's definitely black Brians.
Name one. Find me one. That's not a Bryant or some tricked up spelling. We're talking Brian.
All right,
you just Google searching Brian looking for black people, you racist.
I typed in Brian black guy into DuckDuckGo. Thank you very much. Yeah. Does Brian Griffin count? That's kind of close.
He's a dog.
Here's one. Brian Nichols.
Who's that?
He's a rapist and murderer.
Okay, that's
Georgia.
Celebrity. That's the well-known Brian.
He's a black fella, and he's Brian. He weren't too specific beyond that.
All right, that's true. I guess you're right. But really what I'm saying is there are no famous Brians who are black. I mean, that we know of, that we can name.
No famous black Brians.
Give me a black Brian. Give me a famous black Brian.
There's
a lot of Bryans.
There is. Oh, no. That's a chick. See? Brian Michael Smith is TV's first black trans man in a regular role. He's playing a trans Sherlock Holmes.
He's checking too many boxes. We can't count him.
But dude, that's a chick anyway.
Leroy Jordan. Thank you, Byron. Byron knew it. That was it. I can't believe I didn't think. Leroy Jordan. I swear, my entire life, I thought Leroy Jordan was a black guy. Right? Isn't Leroy Jordan a black guy name?
I would have guessed as well.
Yeah. Hey, remember when Kelly dated Tyson Walter? And everyone thought that everyone assumed Tyson Walter, after he got drafted, he would meet people and they'd be like, oh, this is our new draft pick, Tyson Walter. They almost would always go, I thought you were black.
That's another great example of the white black overlap in naming and names. Tyson is. And look, yeah, Tyson. That's not like an urban effete bourgeois liberal white name. That is a rural red state America white name. Tyson.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. I don't know many Tysons.
Well, then, isn't that where Tyson Walter came from? Was he from a red state family, or was he kind of a reddish?
Purple. He's from Ohio. He's from outside Cleveland.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about his family. He was very much Republican. And
very much. Oh, yes, very much. Yeah.
Very overtly Republican.
I remember he was the only guy who took a pay cut to play in the NFL. Remember that? He turned down. He was going to run his family's banks, but instead he decided to go into the NFL. He took
and his family was all pissed. I was like, "Did your?" Because he gave me tickets. I was like, "Didn't your family like fly down for the games?"
He's like, "They don't want to come to my games. I think it's stupid."
I think it's stupid because I'm not rating companies.
I almost just had a stroke because like how over the moon would my parents be if I played for the Dallas Cowboys? Oh my god!
Right.
Oh, that's their greatest dream come true. His parents think it's stupid.
Yeah, his parents were not impressed. They were not impressed that he got,
Parents are dicks, Tyson.
Well, or, just elite, the 1%. They're 1%ers.
Well, look at my name. Isn't my name pretty racially ambiguous between country white people and black Americans? James Parker. You wouldn't be surprised if you met a black guy and his name was James Parker, not a black American.
You're right. Your last name is very racially ambiguous. It can go either way. My last name, not so much.
Hey, I'm James. I'm the dad from Good Times.
Yeah. Well, James, a lot of black James. Nobody's saying
there's
not a lot of black James. Again, we're saying there's not a lot of black Bryans. That's all. That's what we're saying.
Not a lot of black Codys.
We are out of time.
Zero black Rusties, by the way. There's not any black Rusties. They're not allowed to name their kid Rusty.
That's a very good one. That is a very good one. Rusty is our boy. Well, yeah. I don't. The hell was that? I had another question for him. I wanted to talk to him a little bit more, and he just left me. Oh, well, that's just what we're going to do. All right. I guess we'll just have to. All right, folks. I have got my poetry. I have got my song. I hate that he does that. I hate that he just jumps away on me. That ain't fun. To be strong. Put the tip thing. The tip thing hadn't been up there all day. By the way, it's the other good part about this. This will now allow the new show, Mansplaining with Pugs and Dr. Schwartz, starting on the Eagle this weekend, 9 to 11, both Saturday and Sunday nights. Please join us. That show will make it so that this show does not need to rely upon your tips and your kindnesses and your generosities and all that kind of stuff. So that's good. So thank you, everybody who got us through. However, we still got to get through this month. We still got 2 weeks. So we're going to ask for tips for 2 more weeks. And then we're not going to pitch for them at all. And, just consider it gratis. But like I told April, I was talking to April in DMs earlier today. And I told her, and I should also tell this to, I don't know, probably about 20 of you. Whole reason we got to this point was because of you guys. There is a handful of you who have supported this show tirelessly. And April is who I'm using as the example here. I don't mean to eliminate any of the Leslies or the Tiffany's or my mom's or the Jeff Ballard. See, I hate to do this because I don't want to leave anybody out. But all of you, I'm looking at the name. Thank you all so much for hanging with me and building this up and getting us to the point where we can do something else. And now this will be its own autonomous thing. And so that's good. But again, I do mean that sincerely. Sincerely? That should be a new word. Sincerely. I like that. I'm going to use sincerely again. I do mean it sincerely. Thank you to all of you guys. John, I forget about John. John is a baller. Sally. My mom. I love how my mom tips. My mom is like, here you go. My mom's a big tipper too. My mom is a big tipper. Appreciate that. It's very nice. It's cute. Appreciate it. All right, that's it. We'll see you tomorrow at noon. Okay? Noon. Good times. Running out of... All right, a little more, John. We just need a couple more seconds here. Tomorrow at noon, hot topics, current events, headlines, all of that stuff. If it's happening in the world and you need to know about it and you want to hear about it from some guy who's just talking out of his ass, that's me. I'm your guy. I will give you hot takes on all the trends, all the headlines, all the hot topics, everything that's happening in the world, in a nice little bite-sized hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, however long it takes us to get through it. We do it every day, Monday through Friday. We call it the High Noon Show, and that is the next time I'll be seeing you. So thank you, folks. I appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow at noon, high noon, with me, Pugs Moran, here on the Radio Misfits podcast and streaming platform.
I am on a never-ending quest.
Who wants more? More Hinkley. All right. Well, you know what? Why don't we just stream some Hinkley for the next couple of, I was going to say hours. I don't know how much material he's got. I'm just looking for shelter. Yeah, I do. I know the lyrics. How crazy is that? You know what the other funny thing is? My 13-year-old kid legitimately likes some of these songs. He does. He likes them.
The rich get richer, it seems. Pity the down and out.
You guys, seriously. All right, I'll come back on. All right, why not? I'm a little bit hyped, so I don't necessarily have to sign off right now, but you guys, this is legitimately a decent song. Here, you know what? Seriously, let's just listen to a little bit of this. Let's forget that he tried to assassinate a much-beloved president of the United States, and he did it because he was in love with Jodie Foster, who, as it turns out, was a lesbian. He had no idea, so it was all pretty much oops kind of a deal. Crazy guy, spent 30 years in prison. We're talking about John Hinckley. Decides, hey, they're going to let me out. I'm going to be John Hinckley, the rock star. And then this dude drops this on us. You know, this is like his, this is John Hinckley's Blonde on Blonde. This is his, like, after 30 years of being locked up. But I challenge you, open your mind for a second. Listen to this song. This is not a terrible song.
The world's a different place. You gotta get along. I wanna see your face. Somehow you gotta stay strong. I'm just looking for shelter. Must I always roam? I'm just looking for shelter. A place I can call home.
I'm telling you, you put this guy in a studio with somebody like, hey, Ross Rubio. You put him, Ross, one of our regulars in the chat room. He's a tremendous local producer who runs a studio. You put this guy with his guitar in a studio with a bunch of other musicians, some backup singers. I'm telling you, these are not bad songs.
The rich get richer, it seems. Pity the down and out. Don't give up on your dreams. Never be in doubt. I'm just looking for shelter. Far from the
It's like you listen to it and you start going, yeah, man, all right. I dig the optimism. I like where you're going with this whole thing. This is very, very cool. And then you go, oh, wait, he tried to kill Reagan, right? And didn't he like completely destroy James Brady and shot Tim McCarthy? And oh yeah, I forget, he's not a songwriter. He's a crazy assassin.
raging storm. I'm just looking for shelter. So far from the norm. Tell me about your truth.
All right. Now, here's something I know. Jeff Glenn is like me. Jeff Glenn wants to think that this is all garbage, but Jeff Glenn and me, we recognize there's something here. This guy ain't that bad. As Jeff just said in the chat room, he's just moving forward with his life and getting along is a major thing with him, or theme with him. Yeah, that's true. He's just looking for shelter, man. Just leave him alone.
You gotta make it real. I'll help you.
All right, I'm going to go because John Hinckley's about to make me tear up.
Have to steal. I'm just looking for shelter from the crazy night.